Buying your very first home is an incredible, life-changing milestone. But let's be totally honest with each other for a second. When you first start looking into it, the whole process can feel incredibly confusing. You're suddenly hit with this massive wall of jargon, huge numbers, and all these legal steps you've literally never had to think about before. So if you're feeling a bit lost right at the start, trust me, that is completely normal.
In fact, to quote one of our sources for this explainer, buying your first home can be an exciting adventure. But like riding a roller coaster, that adventure can quickly go from thrilling to overwhelming. To help us navigate this, I want to introduce you to a fictional first-time buyer. Let's call her Sarah. Right now, Sarah is standing at the entrance of this roller coaster. She's feeling thrilled, but also completely overwhelmed. Well, we're going to break down Sarah's journey step by step. By the end, you'll be able to confidently take this exact same ride yourself.
To give Sarah and you a comforting bird's-eye view, here is our roadmap. Getting those keys boils down to 4 predictable stages. Number 1, finances and mortgage prep. Number 2, house hunting and offers. 3, surveys and legal work. And 4, exchange and completion.
Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, finances and mortgage prep, getting started.
Sarah's journey doesn't actually start at a sunny Sunday open house. It starts right at her kitchen table with a baseline financial health checklist. First up, she checks her credit score. She's aiming for a 620 or higher to unlock the absolute best loan options. Next, she's saving her deposit, which typically sits between 5% and 20% of the property's price. But listen, here is a crucial step so many buyers miss: budgeting 3% to 6% for closing costs. Saving for things like attorney fees, pest inspections, and appraisals is just as critical as saving for the down payment itself. Finally, she calculates what she can actually afford on a monthly basis. You definitely don't want to end up house poor.
Once her finances are looking good, Sarah needs to get a mortgage in principle. You might also hear it called a decision in principle or pre-approval. This is simply a written estimate from a lender telling you exactly how much you can borrow. Getting this vital piece of paper translates all that industry jargon into serious buying power. It proves to sellers and real estate agents that Sarah isn't just window shopping. No, she's a serious, qualified buyer who is ready to make a move.
Moving on to Section 2, house hunting and offers, finding the one.
Now we get to the fun part. But I have to stress this. Sarah needs a clear, logical strategy before she starts endlessly scrolling through property websites. Before viewing a single home, she creates a strict list, dividing her needs from her nice-to-haves. A need might be an extra bedroom for a growing family or a big yard for the dog. Those are absolute essentials. The nice-to-haves? Things like a chef's kitchen or being walking distance to your favorite taco spot. Those are just bonuses. Creating this strict list keeps you grounded. When you're emotionally touring a beautifully staged home, having this list stops you from compromising on the things you actually cannot live without.
With her list in hand, Sarah executes her search. First, she sets up alerts on property portals. Second, she schedules in-person viewings. And third, she checks the condition of the home and the local area. Here's a really great tip from our sources. Don't just look at the shiny new paint. Look out for warning signs like dampness. And crucially, drive around the local neighborhood during the day and at night. Think about it, a street can have a completely different vibe at 2 p.m. versus 10 p.m.
Eventually, Sarah finds the one. It hits all her needs, it fits her budget perfectly, and she absolutely loves it. So, it's time to make an offer. She works with her agent to put her best foot forward. The seller might counteroffer, you might have a little back and forth, but finally, the seller accepts. At this exact moment, the property status changes to sold subject to contract. It's a huge moment, and Sarah absolutely deserves to celebrate this win.
Next is Section 3, surveys and legal work, the professional stage.
Now, the ride isn't quite over yet. This is often the most complex and potentially anxious phase of the whole process. But don't worry, because this is exactly where professionals step in to handle the heavy lifting for you. First, Sarah hires a conveyancer, or a property solicitor. This is a legal professional who handles the actual transfer of property ownership. They dig deep into the paperwork, they conduct local authority searches to uncover any legal restrictions, planning issues, or hidden disputes related to the land she's buying. Basically, they make sure she isn't buying a massive legal headache.
While all that legal work is happening behind the scenes, it is vital to clear up a huge misconception regarding property checks. During this phase, you have both a home survey and a mortgage appraisal. An appraisal just tells the bank what the house is worth in the current market. It strictly protects the lender. A home survey, on the other hand, is hired independently by the buyer. The surveyor climbs up into the attic, checks the foundation, and inspects the plumbing.
The survey is what actually protects Sarah from buying a hidden structural nightmare.
And while her conveyancer is reviewing documents and the surveyor is up checking the roof, Sarah's mortgage lender is working through what's called the underwriting stage. They are double-checking all her financial documents, her pay stubs, and that property valuation. Once they're fully satisfied, they issue the official, binding mortgage offer. The money is officially locked in.
Finally, Section 4, Exchange and Completion, the finish line.
This is where all the stress, all the savings, and all the hard work finally pays off. First comes the exchange of contracts. This is the moment both parties sign legally binding agreements, and Sarah's hard-earned deposit is paid over to the seller's solicitor. You really need to know that the exchange is the point of no return. If you back out now, you lose your deposit. Also, because Sarah is now legally bound to the property, this is the exact moment she must secure buildings insurance to protect her brand new asset.
Usually 1 to 2 weeks after the exchange, the absolute best day arrives, completion day. This is when the mortgage lender wires the remaining hundreds of thousands of dollars to the seller. Once that final funds transfer clears, the estate agent gets the call, and Sarah is officially handed the keys to her new home. She did it.
Let's look back at the big picture on this timeline. Week 1 is all about financial prep. By week 4, you're deep into the search and making an offer. Weeks 10 through the end are dedicated to that careful legal and survey work. And around week 16, you hit exchange and finally get the keys. When you look at it laid out like this, that daunting, confusing roller coaster we talked about at the beginning is actually a completely manageable, predictable roadmap.
So I'll leave you with this question to ponder today. What is the one thing you can do right now to get closer to holding your own set of keys? Whether it's checking your credit score for free, setting up a savings budget for those closing costs, or honestly just drafting your list of non-negotiables. Take that step, because as we've seen through Sarah's journey, preparation and organization aren't just helpful, they are the absolute ultimate keys to home ownership.